Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Psychic Medium Ray, and I am back. I'm back with some news. This reading is going to be on Nicold, Kidman, and Keith Urban. As you know, if you've probably read in headlines here recently in the last couple of hours, they have officially, well, allegedly they have separated. It's not official because I haven't heard yet a statement from Nicold or Keith, but allegedly they have already had trouble for quite some time. They were staying in London. Nicold was renting a mansion in London, paying $88,000 a month. This is allegedly, which is is very expensive. And he moved out to Nashville, which makes sense because he sings, and also I think he's still doing very active, like in certain shows and projects here in the USA. So, I mean, it only makes sense. But I think that people do gravitate. Now, I remember back in early 2017 or 2015, no, it was 2016, 17, 18. One of those years, you can go back to my website and check my predictions. I had predicted that I saw them separating. A lot of people were naysayers and laughing and calling me a fake and blah, blah, blah. But I saw it, long before it actually happened. So I'm here to kind of like now say, spirit knows. So sometimes the way that my gift works is I see things that are future oriented. But, we love Nicold, we love Keith, we hope the best for them and their family. But here's a reading to see, what went on, what's the real reason. Apparently Keith, changed on it. I feel like the Five of Swords, like I feel like there's something that Keith didn't like about Nicold's way of living and being. I feel like he fell in love with her. Obviously they have kids, right, together, I believe. But I feel like there's some changes in her. I feel like he had not been sleeping well at night. He's not been feeling himself. I feel like also he's holding on to some kind of secret that I feel like later on he's going to reveal. This could just be about his health as well. Because I am picking up that he has some health issues. But I feel like this is a very devastating decision to kind of call it an end. And I think that Nicold was holding on to it for quite some time because, again, I feel like for the sake of the kids, when you're married, because they're celebrities and there's a lot of mutual friends, there's a lot of chit chat, and it's going to make exposure and headlines. But I actually see, I see Keith, wanting to be in his creative zone, and I feel like he may not have been able to feel very creative in where he was at. And I also see there's another man here coming up. So it's interesting, that somebody else is interested in Nicold. I do think this is a darker skinned male, quite possibly. I do think that they are going to pursue Nicold. I do think that there's a lot of questions on finances and where their finances are going to be. And what's that going to look like? But I do feel like Keith is putting up boundaries and stuff. I think that they will be amicable because I see the Lover's card here. So there's still a lot of love between them. But I do feel like for Nicold, she's going to really have to work very, very hard. And I think that she will. But I feel like Keith is going through a depression. Men go through menopause all the time. And I think that a lot of people are like, no, men don't go through menopause. Like, this doesn't happen. But the reality is, I do feel like they are Keith is going through some type of menopause, so to speak. And I feel like it's affecting him, but he's kind of realizing now he's very spiritual. So Keith's energy is very spiritual, and so is Nicold. But I feel like Keith is more in tune to like his spirituality, and it's kind of like trying to figure out where he wants to be. What I think the things that used to matter to him don't matter anymore, and then I see so I have the Five of Pentacles here. So there's going to be some money, some hard times up ahead. I feel like them trying to manage that, but I do see that moving to calmer water. So this separation is actually going to be good for the both of them. Who knows, down the road, we've seen it with Cardi B, we've seen it with other celebrities where they end up getting back together. This may not be the end of it, but only time will tell. But I do see like them both working very hard on their career, and I do feel like the Page of Cups, there's a lot of like for the kids' sake, spending quality time between London, America, whatnot. I just see the focus and the priority are the children, and that's what I'm seeing right now. I do feel like Keith has a decision to make down the road, and this could be with his own personal projects and a lot of juggling of finances as well. So I see the Emperor kind of like, this is kind of like I want to say like this is Keith stepping into his own authoritative power, like taking his power back. I feel like a lot of that was taken from Nicold. I don't know why Spirit's saying that, but they make me feel like she was very much the one that kind of was like pulling the strings and making decisions. And I think Keith wanted to take more control of himself. So I see the Six of Wands. I definitely feel that there is success and victory here for him. A lot of creativeness. He's going to have the right people, places, and things put into his path to help him. But I also feel like he's going to kind of regret a little bit of it. Like, not necessarily regret, but when the people have been together for so long in a marriage, there is this tendency to have, some questions that come up. You feel guilty for doing this, but like I said, people grow apart. The Knight of Wands, I kind of see like him traveling to and from London, but Australia too. I see like something with Australia, and then I see the Ace of Swords. So I definitely feel like he's going through a lot of the mental roadblocks. He's going to get past it, but he needed to do this for himself, because I feel like staying with her it was like he wanted to do this breakup many years ago. I think they had reached a certain point. They may not talk about it, but behind the scenes, I literally feel like they had reached a very rough patch. And I feel like this could have been with intimacy, just love in general. Yeah, there was definitely a toxicity to the relationship. I mean, in public, you saw them together. They were very lovey-dovey. It was like it was for appearances. But like I said, I do feel like one of them has some health issues, and I feel like it could be, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing, just what I feel spiritually, and I'm picking up intuitively. There's something with Keith, I'm pretty sure. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, I kind of feel like there's some new opportunities that he feels like he might be able to garner apart from Nicold, not being in a relationship. I mean, it's very weird to say that, but Hollywood is like that when you're together as a couple. Like, I feel like you're very limited. A lot of the people that found you hot before or blah, blah, you kind of lose some of your sex appeal, or you lose some of your fan base, because now you're tied to someone, so they can only lust over you but not really act on it. Now that they're both kind of like free commodities, depending, like I said, if they actually get the divorce or whatever, however that works, because I'm not even sure. I think they're married, but however that works, I do see, that Keith was actually divinely guided to do this, and I feel like there's a lot of hope here. Things are going to start moving forward for both of them. It feels like a mourning, like a death, because again, it's the ending of something that was, holy to the both of them. But there was a lot of lies in the process with the Seven of Swords, and I feel like these are not lies just there, but between them, but also lies between like people around them out on the outside, putting things in Nicole's mind, and Keith, always being on the go. I do feel that on some level Nicold has some insecurities. Like, she might come across as very, very confident and whatnot, but every person has some type of insecurity, and I feel like she has insecurities when it came to the fidelity of Keith. And I do feel like, it was constant nagging and just like little knickknacks, like everything's going to be okay. Because I feel like Nicold, she's also going to be coming out with Practical Magic too. So there's a lot of upcoming good projects for her as well. A lot of traction, which I love Practical Magic. I love her. Like I said, I love Nicold, and definitely want the best for the both of them. But I just feel like it was just like an amicable thing. I think he realized like there were certain things he didn't like about her, certain things that she didn't like about him. It was kind of like they were growing distant. But I do see a lot of planning over the next 3 months. I do feel like they're going to both be okay. However, I do think that Keith definitely needs to watch his health, like I said. And then I do see a lot of acceleration here, travel for the both of them, a lot of decisions that they have to make. There's still some confusion around the kids. But I feel like they're going to be fine. At the end of the day, what's most important to them is their family. So I definitely feel like a lot of this is, you might hear some interviews, or they might be questioned, by the paparazzi. There will be more that will be unraveled. And like I said, it's a possibility they could come back together in the future. But for right now, I think this is the best decision that Keith could have made, himself, to move to Nashville or to be in the United States, or, in general. And I feel like she's going to, be busy as well, Nicold. Nicold has a lot of sorting out to do too. and asking herself like what happens after this, but I see her meeting someone and kind of like both of them might meet someone actually, I feel like in the next 2 years or less, and they might see them off and on, but I don't know if they're going to get married again to anybody or like get in a very committed relationship, but it will be interesting to see like how the dynamic plays out. But yeah, I really feel like it was a long time coming. I had seen it and it happened, and so I was like, I'm gonna validate myself, because not that I need it, but I think a lot of people see my predictions and some may say, oh, it's off because he made it in this year. But the thing that I understand is that sometimes these things carry on. Like, there's a lot of celebrities I've read for that were married, and I've said, I see them separating, or I see like a distance, and and then it happens later on. So yeah, but I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Be sure to give a thumbs up. Remember, all my readings are 50% off now. No promo code needed. So go and check that out, and book yourself a reading, because we're about to enter the most busiest time of the year for me, and yeah, it's going to be pretty busy. So book your readings, get them in. I love you guys. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll be back. All right, bye.